I hate Amy March. I want to preface this whole video by saying I've watched the movie. I haven't read the book yet. I plan on reading it because I really enjoyed the movie, but I haven't read the book yet, so I'm just basing this all on the movie. And by the movie, I mean the 2019 Greta Gerwig adaptation of Little Women. It's fantastic. Also, I want to go along and say I love Florence Pugh, who plays Amy March. I have nothing against her. I think she does a wonderful job. I just hate the character so much. Also, I want to say I did enjoy Amy's speech in France to Laurie about women. I thought that was really good. Other than that, though, hate her, and I will explain why. Before I start, I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm going to. Like, if you like Amy, sucks. I hate her. Okay? If you like her, I politely disagree. I hate her with a passion. This video explains all about why I hate Amy March. I'm still upset about it. I saw this movie like 2 weeks ago, and I am still so upset about this. I'm still so mad that Amy did this, and I'm so mad at Amy just in general. This fire just burns in me, and I'm like, I can't, she's the worst. She's the worst, and I still have this feeling about it, even though I watched this movie 2 weeks ago. Like, this passion is still inside of me, and that's why I need to make this video. The other day, I ranted to my roommate about this for like at least 10 minutes. And I know she didn't want to hear it, but I was just like, oh my god, have you seen Little Women? She said no, and I said, okay, let me tell you about the worst character in it. Amy is the worst. I hate Amy March. I hate her. Now, I've seen some controversy over this on Twitter, so I would like to defend my point of hating Amy March and why. Out of the 4 women, she sucks. Least favorite out of the 4. Oh my god. I made a list. Let's get started. So, I'm going to bring up this first point a whole lot. I liked her before she did this. I was like, fine, she's cool. Then she burned Joe's book. Let me repeat that. She burned Joe's book. So many pages of writing gone because she couldn't handle that she wasn't allowed to come on this kind of date between the 2 older sisters and their 2 friends. I learned later that she was 12. That does not lessen my anger towards her at this moment because Joe spent so long. And for her to be so petty and upset, and I'm pretty petty, so I know how it is. For her to be so petty and upset that she burned Joe's whole life's work. This book was everything to her, and she burned it. How does one do that to someone? I'm going to continue to return to this point because this is really what hits home for me. As a writer, I have the computer, so like my work is saved. But if I didn't and someone burned my book, I would cut them off forever. Whether or not they were related to me, they are out of my life. I would never forgive them. Now let's go to the next point of why Joe did forgive her. Amy went after Joe and Laurie when they were ice skating, and she was like, you said I could come next time. You said I could come next time. Yes, Joe said she could come the next time when she wasn't pissed off at her. When she didn't have all this anger because she burned her book. She was like, yeah, you can come next time. Now, she can't stand Amy, which I would not be able to either. So she just ignores her and continues ice skating on. And then Amy falls through the ice. And Joe's like, oh, it's my fault. She could have almost died because I was upset with her. I can't be upset with her anymore. False. You could still be upset with her. I would say that's your fault, Amy. You put yourself in that situation. It's your fault. You decided to go out on the ice and follow us, even though you obviously didn't know the dangers of it. That's on you. That's on you. It's not on Joe at all. Yes, she was following after Joe, but Joe obviously did not want to talk to her, so she should have taken the hint and waited until later. I'm going to return to the fact that she burned Joe's book, okay? She burned Joe's book. I hate Amy March. I hate Amy March with a passion. So, okay, I don't know if you can tell, but my favorite character is Joe. She's the main character, so it kind of makes sense, but also, she's a writer. I relate so much to her. So, Joe was so excited that her aunt was going to take her to France. She was like, oh my god, that's like, I never get to do anything, like, that's really cool, because all her sisters always seem to get stuff. But of course, Amy takes it. Amy goes to France instead. Yeah, Amy had to take the trip to France. I get that this was their aunt's decision as well, however, she did promise a trip to Joe, and I feel like Joe definitely would have told her sister, and this was completely unfair for her to take it from her. Of course, I get that she wants to paint there. The fact that it was originally going to be Joe's and Joe's so excited and then like she's just crushed. And she obviously can't say anything against her aunt. So she takes her trip to France. And let's go back to the point that she burned Joe's book. Okay, thank you. Also, she doesn't work for anything. Jo spends so much time writing stories and getting them published for money for her family. She doesn't even get her name on it because she knows her family would be like, what the heck is this? Like, this is gross. I don't want it attached to our family. She doesn't put her name on it. She doesn't get credit for being published. She just is published. No one credits her for this, and she does it all for her family, to get this money to support her family. What does Amy do? She doesn't do anything to help support the family. She just exists, takes the family's money. Amy gives up painting because she's never going to be the best. I have some issues with that. If all artists said they were going to give up because they didn't think they were the best, we would not have any artists. Every artist thinks they're terrible and not great at the beginning. They don't think they're going to be good. And yet they still do it anyway because it's their passion. And they're like, I love doing this. I'm going to continue doing it until the day I die. They have that passion that continues to drive them to do things. And she says she cares about painting so much, and she says she just gives it up because she can't be the best. And that's dumb. That's so dumb. Oh my god. Like, that's so selfish as well. Just like, being like, I can't be the best, so I might as well not do it. You're not gonna be the best at everything. You just gotta try. And like, a lot of people will enjoy that effort. Another thing, the ending of the whole thing is she marries Laurie. And I get that she was in love with Laurie since she was a child. She was so in love with him, and she was always going to be second best to Jo. Which we'll talk about that in a second, okay? She finds Laurie in France, and they bond, or whatever. And then she gives up her marriage for him. And then she marries Laurie. Neither of them. I'm pissed off at both of them, but like, I hate Amy so much, and I think Laurie is pretty great. Even though he's kind of terrible, I still really like him as a character. Neither of them think to send a message to, you know, their family, or to Jo. You know, Jo, who is older sister, Laurie's best friend. You'd think they would send some notice. No, why would they do that? So they get engaged, and you know, I'm like, sure, they've gotten engaged. My hope for the film was that they were gonna get back and they'd be like, we're engaged! And everyone would be like, cool, and then Jo would tell Laurie her feelings, and then Laurie would be like, oh, I'm gonna break up with Amy, and I'm gonna get with you, Jo, because I love you. I've always loved you. However, they got married without telling anyone. They didn't tell any of their family at home. They just got married randomly in France. Huh? What? You know, you don't tell your whole family, like, hey, I'm getting married to Laurie. Woo, finally, woo. No. You just go get married without anyone knowing. Yeah, that seems like a good plan. Uh-huh. I so firmly wanted Jo to get with Laurie at the end. And I get that she didn't want Jo to end up with anyone in the end. I would have been fine with that. But I did not want Amy to get with Laurie. That did not feel right. Like, Amy and Laurie never had that connection or that bond. And I get maybe some people are like, oh, well, that bond happened when they were in France. Like, they finally understood each other and loved each other. And no.
I disagree.
I think Laurie has always loved Jo, and that just transferred over to Amy. It's never going to be the same. They have broken these relationships that they've had their whole life. Amy just takes everything from Jo, and Jo ends up with nothing, and I'm so sad. I hate Amy March. I hate her with a passion. Like, I can't. And then, like, my final point. Throughout the film, she says she's second best to Jo. This is her big complaint about life. Oh, Jo always gets to do all these things. I'm always second best to Jo. Like, everyone always likes her so much better. And, like, no one likes me as much as they like her. And I'm always second best to Jo. In my brain, the girls went Meg, Jo, Amy, Beth. Then I found out that Beth was the second youngest and Amy was the youngest. Amy, you have 3 older sisters, and you choose Jo to be like, oh, I'm never gonna live up to Jo. If anything, Beth. If anything, you would be like, I can never live up to Beth. Beth is always like the best one. Everyone always loves Beth more than me. But no. For some reason, you don't choose Beth. Like, Beth is like, you can't be mad at Beth. I understand.
However,
You still have 2 other older sisters. You have Meg and Jo. You have 3 older sisters, and you say, oh, I'm always in Jo's shadow. Like, I'm never gonna be better than Jo. What? Okay, first of all, you're your own people. Second of all, you're the youngest of 4 siblings. There's always gonna be that standard of like the 3 older siblings are there. Not that I have any experience with this. As an only child, I have no one to live up to. Ha. The fact that she just like targeted Jo, and then I feel like she just took all of Jo's dreams away from her. She just took everything Jo wanted. She took the trip to France. She burned Jo's book and her whole opportunity that she'd been working on her whole life. She took Laurie from Jo. Like, Laurie and Jo can never be the same after he married Amy. They can never have that same friendship and bond, especially after Jo was like sobbing and upset because she wanted to be with someone, and like Laurie is the obvious choice because they have this intrinsic connection between them. Her relationship with him can never be the same now because they're married. I hate Amy March so much. I hate her. I hate her. I hate Amy March. Can I remind you that she burned Joe's book? I hate Amy March. If you want to explain why you like her, you can go for it in the comments. I still hate her, and I don't think you're going to change my mind. However, you can try. I hate her with a passion. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about Amy. If you hate her, if you love her, explain your reasoning. Let me know. I hate Amy March. Like this video if you enjoyed seeing me rant. And please subscribe to my channel for more content. I enjoy talking about my feelings about films and books, and this is a bit of both. If you haven't gotten it, I hate Amy, she burned Joe's book. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be up very soon, so see you guys then, okay? Bye!